Risky behavior.
Yo, what's up? And I am back. This is Risky Behavior. I would like to welcome you to Risky Behavior, the podcast where we explore the fascinating and often perplexing world of human actions. Why do we engage in risky behavior? Well, from the complexities of love and relationships to the nuances of religion, politics, and even crime, we'll delve into the choices we make and what drives us. I don't label people as good or bad. And I want you to remember this. I don't label people as good or bad. Instead, I focus on the behaviors that can lead us down a risky path. Join me as we uncover the motivations behind our actions and examine the intriguing aspect of human nature. Let's get started. Let's get it started in here. Shout out Prince of Petty is back. Let's go ahead and jump into this very sad story that I'm about to bring you. Now, it's always there's always two, three sides to a story. We've all heard that before. And assuming the story that we're about to listen to is true, it is truly the saddest thing I've ever heard. I'm gonna be honest with you. Um, there's a guy, and a good friend of mine, the Prince of Petty, shared with me a video of a guy. He's doing an interview. And in this interview, he is sharing his story about how his ex-wife, well, she was his wife at the time, she began to transition their 2-year-old son. Little boy did not say he felt like a girl, but mommy wanted him to be a girl. And yeah, it's just downright diabolical. What up, Prince? You there? Right? You hear me?
Yeah, bro, I'm here, man. I'm listening to your intro, bro. This shit was beyond diabolical. I couldn't believe what I was hearing.
I couldn't either. I was like, it was downright shocking. All right, here we go. Do we supposed to do trigger alert, trigger warning? I don't know.
Yes. Let's absolutely do a trigger warning. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a video concerning sexuality. So if you are triggered, or if you are indeed trans, listening to um, this person's words does not infringe on our beliefs. My words does not infringe on Chanel's beliefs, and vice versa. If you are triggered by this conversation, this is your warning to leave now.
And there you have it. Here we go.
It all started when my son was 2. My ex-wife, who is a pediatrician, began to transition my son to a girl right while I was living there and we were still married. She began to I first noticed it when she would put him into timeouts, and she would say, "Don't be a boy. The monsters only eat boys," and then leave him alone in a room, things like this. And when I said she couldn't do this anymore, she used her relationships with licensed care providers to force me out of the house. She filed for divorce. At 3 years old, my son told me that his mother says that he's a girl and that I'm wrong, that he's a boy. If you go onto YouTube, you can search for "Mommy Says I'm a Girl." It's probably got 1 billion views out there. That went worldwide. I'm an Orthodox Christian. It even went all over Eastern Europe. They couldn't believe it. And it's the first iPhone video I ever took. And it's my son just past his 3rd birthday telling me that mommy says he's a girl. This began to get ever worse. She began to socially transition him to a girl. She presented him to the world as a girl named Luna, and put him into a dress. The Capel School District under Principal Mickelson helped to transition my son secretly behind my back, and we can talk about why that's legal in all the 50 states right now. I would bring my son to school in boys' clothes. The teacher would give him a dress and make him use the girls' restroom.
Wait a second, stop. The teacher would?
Yeah, yes. Yeah, I didn't find out about this for over a year.
So wait, I mean, let me just stop you real quick right there, because that's it is one thing. Like, look, the most complicated part of this is typically in a lot of these situations, you have parent against government or parent against school system or parent against, now you have parent against parent. And you would think that the proper position for the school in something like this might be to be like, this is something for them to work out. If the boy, I mean, I wouldn't blame a teacher for saying, if the kid shows up in a dress, it's not my position to change him. If the kid shows up in pants, it's not my position to change.
Right.
You actually had a teacher physically taking your child and changing their clothes?
Yes. There was a dress they kept at the school, and he would change into that dress if I brought him in boys' clothes, which I always did. And the important thing to know here is right up until the time I lost my parental rights, 6 years later, my son never presented as a girl to me. He's always presented as a boy to me and a girl to his mother. And I asked him about it, and he just flat out told me, my mom doesn't love me if I'm not a girl. And that's why he would wear girls' clothes. So as this ramped up with the school issue and her presenting him to the world, as a girl, after our divorce, we had a second trial in 2019. I brought in the world's transgender experts to that trial in this little courtroom in Dallas County. She brought in the world's experts on her side. She didn't put a single one of her experts on the stand because we would have demolished them. During depositions, she had hired Johanna Olson Kennedy, who runs the largest gender clinic in America. I just asked her in the deposition, very simple question. What is the medical basis for removing healthy body parts from children? You're a doctor, you have to have a medical basis. And she said, if they cause psychological distress, they're not healthy body parts, and we remove them. So she didn't put any of her experts on the stand.
Wait,
I brought in
Can I stop you right there real quick? So let me get this straight. If somebody's right eye caused them psychological distress, her response, then her logic would be, then it is perfectly okay to remove a healthy eye.
Yes, and there is a psychological condition called body dysmorphia.
Yeah.
Where these people go out of the country to have their body parts removed because it's actually illegal in the United States to do that. But they made a special exception for castrating kids. The FDA made a special exception for it.
Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to clarify that. Yeah.
In 2019, I brought in Dr. Levine, who ran the first transgender clinic at Johns Hopkins University in the 1970s. And they shut their clinic down after 4 years because all their data showed that the treatments were harming patients. So we knew back in the 70s, all of this stuff was bad and evil and didn't work. So I won the 2019 trial. I got 50-50 custody, no child support. And most importantly, I got a check on all of the medical rights. So she couldn't do anything to my son. During that period, I had spent several $100,000 of my own money and created an entire movement in Texas to pass a law in the state to outlaw these procedures. I successfully did that in 2020. They took out 3 sentences from that law that I wrote, which classified it as felony child sexual abuse, and that becomes important later. So what the Dallas County judges did is they said, well, we didn't get the verdict that we wanted from the Texas jury, and the judge didn't do what we wanted, so they transferred my case to the 301st District Court under Judge Mary Brown. I call her Bloody Mary Brown. Bloody Mary Brown, using temporary orders, systematically has stripped me of all my parental rights. I can't see my children. Letters at school I go to, I haven't seen them in 3 years. I have no idea what's happened.
Okay, let me stop you right there real quick, because this is always right. This is always the thing where it's like, okay, all this sounds really good, but you lost your parental rights, and surely a judge would not have done that without good cause. So knowing that anybody can go and look this up and look at the judge's opinion and whatnot, tell us what the justification was for you losing your parental rights.
The quote from the order stripping me of my parental rights said that I was unable or unwilling to follow the court's orders. So the question is, what were the court's orders? There were two of them. One of them was for supervised visitation, county. It was a gay and transgender therapist who would refuse to allow me to change my son into boys' clothes during the visits. Because I have always refused to affirm my son as a girl, I declined to go to the supervised visits. The second reason is I'm under an illegal and unconstitutional gag order. This interview is illegal in Texas and California. I'm not allowed to talk about any issue around transgenderism, gender expansiveness, or gender dysphoria. I have a lifetime ban from all interviews, writing newspaper articles, doing any podcasts, or writing any op-eds or articles. And I'm not even allowed to tell you whether my sons are boys or girls.
Wait a second.
So I have never.
How do they? How in the? So they actually, she. Was this part of her taking away your custody rights? Was a corresponding gag order that says you can't talk about transgenderism?
They were trying to shut down my political advocacy to get that law passed in Texas. They didn't want me to go testify at the state legislature and to lobby in the state legislature to get that law passed. That's the real reason they put that gag order on me. And because I didn't go to supervised visitations, which would have forced me to affirm my son as a girl, and because I have consistently violated the gag order on principle, I've told the judge in court that I have contempt for the text of the order for violating my rights as a Texan. Because Texas has better free speech rights than even the federal government. Mm-hmm. So I have contempt as a Texan for the text of the order. I have contempt for her as a judge for issuing such an order against a citizen of the state of Texas. And so I'm in maximum contempt of court. And I told her she was obligated to give me, therefore, the maximum sentence for criminal contempt. And the reason was I had a writ of habeas corpus and sue the county's insurance company for millions of dollars for violations of my rights. So instead, what they did is they said, well, you can't follow the court order. So because you can't follow the court order, you can't see your kids anymore. And they chose that route.
So this was 2021?
Yes.
Okay.
And then because I finally got that law passed and it went into effect in 2021, January 1st, 2021, my ex-wife petitioned the court to let her move the children to California so she could castrate my son. Judge Bloody Mary Brown in the 301st District Court of Dallas County allowed her to move to California to castrate my son. I took that up to the Texas Supreme Court, which is supposed to be a conservative court, and Justice Blacklock, I call him Black-Hearted Blacklock, and Justice Young wrote an opinion denying my petition, saying absurdly that my son was no more likely to be transitioned in California than he would be in Texas.
Oh, wait. Stop. Mm-hmm. How does anybody say that with a straight face when California has setting itself up as something of a sanctuary state for this sort of thing? Like,
it's a transgender kidnapping state. And that was the argument that I made to the Texas.
Hold on, I had paused it because the internet was acting silly. Hold on. Mm-hmm. Yo, Prince, you still there? You hear me?
Yeah, I'm still there, bro.
Okay. I had paused it because the it started acting funny, so I was moving some stuff around. All right, here we go.
All good.
To Supreme Court, I said, if the court finds that it's not in my son's interest to have these procedures done, California will not return my sons even on a court order. And so this order by the district judge, Bloody Mary Brown, amounted to removing the protections of Texas law from a child in order to abuse them. And I have an opinion from Ken Paxton, who I consider the best attorney general in the history of the United States. He's won more federal cases against the federal government for states' rights than any attorney general in history. He's definitely the best one in Texas history. And Ken Paxton did a thorough analysis of this at federal law and Texas law. He went back into English common law and even into Spanish juridical law, because we trace our legal system through Spain. Though it doesn't matter where you go, it's always been illegal to castrate kids because the children have a fundamental liberty interest in procreation, and no parent can remove a fundamental liberty interest from a child permanently. It's why you can't tattoo your child, you can't give your kid drugs and so forth. So even with all of that evidence, the Texas Supreme Court under Justice Backlaw in California, on the 28th of this month, this is my last shot. If I lose this trial, my son will be castrated in November.
All right.
It all started when my son was 2.
Very horrible story. Very, very horrible, 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 horrible story. Let's see. What was I going to show? Oh, he mentioned that the school was helping out with the white. Well, first of all, Prince, did you want to say something? Speak to that. How you felt about that?
Man, outside of sheer unadulterated rage, I'm just going to let you cook. It man. But it's all go ahead. What you was gonna say, bro?
Oh no, I was gonna show it because he mentioned the fact that he was saying with the schools was helping it out. So I was typing in just just trying to see if I can find an article or something, but I found something from the New York Post. Let me see. Right here. You see it on the screen?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Actually, I don't even need the music. As a matter of fact, I think I can just read that and it'd probably be better. Boom. Okay, here we go. So it's saying that the Biden administration proposed new title regulations that allow school district employees to withhold such information from parents. So what he was saying when he said his the school was helping the wife to dress him into girls' clothes behind his back. Well, they don't have to tell him that they're doing that. They can do that behind his back. And so this article says nearly 6,000 U.S. public schools hide child's gender status from parents. This is by Josh Christensen, published March 8th, 2023. Says more than 3.2 million U.S. public school students are covered by guidance that blocks parents from knowing whether their child identifies as a different gender in the classroom, which could become federal policy if President Biden's Title 9 proposals are approved in May. I read that right, didn't I?
Yeah.
At least 168 districts governing 5,904 schools nationwide have rules on the books that prevent faculty and staff from disclosing to parents a student's gender status without the student's permission. According to a list compiled by the conservative group Parents Defending Education and shared with the Post. So the teacher couldn't do it if they wanted to or lose their job. The 3,268,752 students affected by such policies go to class in all kinds of districts, large and small, affluent and poor, urban and rural, red and blue, stretching from North Carolina to Alaska. The non-comprehensive list includes two of the largest school districts in the country, Chicago Public Schools and Los Angeles Unified School District, along with other city jurisdictions like DC Public Schools, Baltimore City Public Schools, San Francisco Unified School District, Portland Public Schools, and Seattle Public Schools. Wow. District from deep blue university towns, Berkeley and Palo Alto, was that California, New Haven, Connecticut, Iowa City, Iowa, Ann Arbor, Michigan, Hanover, New Hampshire, Durham, North Carolina, Madison, Wisconsin, appear on the list, as do 11 districts in deep red Idaho. I don't think I read that before. Deep red Idaho. 16 in purple Pennsylvania and 7 in Virginia, where Republican Glenn Youngkin was elected in 2021 in part on a platform of giving parents a bigger say in their children's education. Oh, what do you think about that? That's kind of crazy, right? That a child, that's weird. What are you gonna start letting them sign contracts and buy cars too, or buy cigarettes? I don't get this.
You would think that would probably be the next step. One would think that, because what do you mean I can't come to school and find out what sex my child adheres to be without my child's permission? Like, we're talking about the same 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old who can't even pick out a box of cereal in the grocery store. But you're going to tell me that you can't tell me what sex my child identifies as at school without his or her permission? What?
It's insane to me, and especially when I think about how children are. I'm thinking about the fights that happen, the bullying, the jumping people, children that may self-delete, children that may take a weapon to get revenge. And then they're going to the parent and they're saying, well, why you didn't do anything about it? What are you talking about? You made a law that prevents me from even finding anything like this out to even prevent it or talk to my kid. This means your kid could be going through something and
you don't even know about it.
And you would know. Yeah, you would know. Nothing. There'd be nothing you could do at all.
But the moment my son says he identifies as a girl and a girl decides to pick on him and he busts her in her face, you're gonna be quick to expel him.
Yep. But you wasn't able to talk to him. You wasn't able to know. It says here, Nicole Neely, president of Parents Defending Education, told the Post the list only begins to scratch the surface of what is taking place behind closed doors in America's schools. This investigation shows that parental exclusion policies are a problem from coast to coast, and that living in a red state doesn't mean that families are automatically shielded from this issue, Neely said. Without a doubt, there are hundreds, if not thousands of others with similar policies on the books. We urge everyone to keep an eye out and to let us know if they find something similar to in their background. These policies are everywhere and not always written down, agreed Luke Berg of the Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty. I don't have a list anywhere near as comprehensive as PDE, but given what I've heard from parents, I would assume it is even more widespread than the 6,000 they have documented. In our view, Berg added, all of these policies violate parents' constitutional rights under the United States Constitution and possibly many state constitutions as well. I guess. Oh, that's the flag that I've been seeing on Clubhouse. Everybody been flying. Oh, another thing I wanted to add is this: given all given all the things that's been going on in the school with these predators, right, men and women teachers, are we sure we want? Because who says that the teachers are um the what's the word? I don't know why my brain is freezing right now. I'm kind of upset at that story. Who says that the teacher will properly handle this situation anyway? Why do people have to always go extreme? Why could it not be a situation where mandatory therapy for the child and the parent to help with whatever transition, whatever the child is going through? Why is their go-to, you know what? Hide it from the parent, let the teacher deal with it.
I believe they think that the teachers is going to be able to hold up to something like this because they hold the teachers' jobs above their heads like a carrot to a horse running on a treadmill. Like you just can't quite get that carrot. I think that's what these school boards and shit are doing in these different districts. Because if you look at the grand scheme of things, every single one of these teachers are not as delusional as some of these people who believe in this gender equality or gender identity and shit. Some of these teachers are actually well grounded in reality and don't believe that shit.
No, I believe as well. I don't even think they believe it all. Even the ones that it may seem like they're participating, I think they're just trying to keep their job. They don't.
Right.
It ain't no
Yeah,
teamwork.
that's why.
If you could be a fly on the wall when they go home.
Ooh, Lord, Lil Jimmy came up with that. Swear to God, he was a girl today. God damn, I want to slap the shit out of this little boy.
I'm telling you, it's crazy. And I am going to replay the video. I did just want to play it all the way through. But it says, despite the legal controversy, the Biden administration proposed a new Title IX regulations in July 2022 that would allow school district employees across America to withhold gender information from parents, setting up a potential battle between the federal government and red states. And this explains a lot of pushback with the election that just passed. This is a serious thing that not too many people wanted to focus on or bring up. That's a big deal to think that, because I know parents can be hard on their children sometimes, but to think that your child could be going through something and you do not know, I think that's a scary position for any parent to be in.
No, absolutely, it definitely is. Especially the parents who have smaller children, 5, 6, 7, 8. They have smaller children. The children are being bullied or dealing with some type of like we're talking about here, this gender identity shit, and the parent just, the parent is completely dumbfounded to the shit. Like the parent just don't know, and the teacher can't say nothing without the child's consent, so to speak, as if the teacher magically became a doctor and we're abiding by medical law all of a sudden or some shit. It's crazy.
Doctor patient privilege.
Confidentiality.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's insane. I'm not going to read all this. I have to remember to keep some of these links, to throw them down in the description to be available once the video uploads. But I'm gonna read this last little bit. The policies have already prompted legal action in some districts, with opponents spanning the full political spectrum. Last November, a transgender clinical psychologist filed an amicus brief on behalf of a conservative law group suing the school district in Montgomery County, MD, which covers some of the toniest suburbs of the nation's capital. The psychologist, Dr. Erica Anderson, said in the brief that socially transitioning at school as a child is a major and potentially life-altering decision that requires parental involvement for many reasons. I don't want to be erased as a transgender person, and I don't want anyone's prerogatives or identity to be taken away from them, she told the New York Times in January. But on this one, I'm aligned with people who are willing to advocate for parents. So what she said, they taking it too far.
I think this whole situation has been taken too far. Because for one to lose custody of their kid because they don't agree with the gender conversation is insane in and of itself.
It is. It is. And I found that just by typing in schools helping trans kids behind their parents' back. I figure out how I found that. But that was a part of Biden's administration. And of course, I found this other. Check this one out. So I give both sides. So I found this other website, which is the LGBTQ Nation, Equality for All, and it says fact check: are schools performing transition surgeries on students without parental consent? Which I don't even think nobody thinks that. But if you're trying to argue your point and prove people wrong, you have to present a question that is like nobody asked that.
Yeah, I think that's pretty outlandish. I mean, what would constitute the word surgery specifically being used? I mean, these teachers aren't plastic surgeons. I mean, are they helping with the transition? Okay, that can be questioned, but surgery? I don't know. I doubt that seriously.
Yeah, like who said that? Like seriously, who said that? I don't think nobody said that.
I don't think anybody said that at all. I don't think anybody had thought that, let alone said it.
And stuff. But I don't know. Did Trump? But I think they're saying Trump said it. I don't know. Let's see. Picture of Trump. Donald Trump gives a fist pump arriving at Dobbins Air Reserve Base in September 2020. Okay, on August the 30th, 2024. Former President Donald Trump claimed at a Moms for Liberty press conference that schools are pushing transgender youth through surgeries without parental consent. He alleged this occurs on campus in the span of a few days. But I don't think he meant they were doing it at the school.
Okay.
But this in quotes. But they so petty. They're gonna put the
yeah, that's very petty. I don't know why they put why did they put the there?
But the transgender thing, it is a incredible thing. Your children goes to school and comes home a few days later with an operation. He said, the school decides what's going to happen with your child, and many of these childs 15 years later say, what the hell happened? Who did this to me? Which they know he being funny. He don't really think they're doing surgeries at the school now. Come on. This wasn't just a one-off claim either. He repeated it multiple times in places like Wisconsin and Arizona during campaign rallies. Now, LGBTQ Nation evaluated the truthfulness of this claim and whether it has any grounds to stand on. LGBTQ Nation emailed the Trump campaign for comment. However, they did not respond before publication of this article. Okay. I'm trying to figure out, do I want to go through all this? I want to go back to the video.
I think you should go through that because it just may shed a light to somebody listening, somebody watching who really don't understand the concept of what happens during a transgender surgery.
Let's see.
Especially when it regards to children.
I know. Yeah. It says, what are trans surgeries and guidelines? And this is according to the and I think they want to dispel the I think they want to just dispel the myth of maybe they think they're just castrating all these children. Okay. What are trans surgeries and guidelines? While there are a multitude of surgeries that trans people might choose to undergo, there are two particularly common types of surgeries that trans people may receive: top and bottom surgery. Top surgery refers to procedures that either remove breast and breast tissue, such as, they will put a word there. What's that? Mastectomies? Yeah, mastectomies. Mastectomies and breast reduction surgeries, or surgeries that enhance the size of breast. Bottom surgeries, on the other hand, refer to surgeries that alter the genitalia, with the most common involving the removal of testicles. Construction of a vagina, or the construction of a penis. I did not know they could do that.
Yeah, it's a very traumatic surgery where they literally create a penis out of the clitoris of what used to be a vagina. Crazy work.
Wow. Minors scarcely receive any form of gender affirming surgery. In 2019, a study found that only 85 minors in the United States received any form of gender affirming surgery at all. So it does happen. And so that father in the video we played has a real reason to be scared.
Yeah, he definitely does. When you posted a chat bubble on Clubhouse, I referenced the documentary series. Well, it was not a series, but an episode where this boy got the surgery and he became a little girl, and they was talking about his dating life with another boy, which I guess would that make the other boy gay technically, because he's dating a girl, but the girl used to be a boy. Man, it's shit confusing. But they was following the dude life, the little boy life, and he had a surgically created vagina, and dude had to stop in the middle of class to go take a bathroom break and lubricate that that surgically created hole.
Yeah, they have to keep it dilated or it will close up because it's a wound. Oh man. Minors scarcely receive any form of gender affirming surgery. In 2019, a study found that only 85 minors in the United States received any form of gender affirming surgery at all. Of these minors, 96.4% received some type of top surgery, most commonly breast reductions. Almost all of the surgeries conducted were on minors between the ages of 15 and 17, and none were performed on minors under the age of 12. So there were some that were at least 12. This same study found that cisgender boys with gynecomastia. Forgive me if I butchered that word. A condition that leads to unwanted breast development were more likely to get gender affirming surgeries at a rate of 146. This low prevalence is in part due to the stringent guidelines protecting minors from receiving any type of care, especially that of surgeries. The World Professional Association for Transgender Health is currently the leading organization advising transgender healthcare across the globe, including in the United States. Their latest rendition of their standards of care, SOC 8, details what types of care are deemed acceptable for minors to receive. Wow. For any type of gender affirming care, WPATH emphasizes that parents should be involved every step of the way. WPATH also insists that as long as it can be legally and feasibly, parents should be consulted for giving adolescents any form of gender affirming care. They write, we recommend when gender affirming medical or surgical treatments are indicated for adolescents, healthcare professionals working with transgender and gender diverse adolescents involve parents / guardians in the assessment and treatment process, unless their involvement is determined to be harmful to the adolescent or not feasible.
The twist to that is it's all harmful.
Oh my God. But if the school doesn't have to let the parent know, they could just say, well, that parent's involvement is harmful. And just
Yeah, they
do
can say
it.
that.
Yeah. I'm glad I read this. They think they tricky. But they say, in fact, they actively encourage parental involvement as it can be very helpful for youth. Parent and family support of TGD youth is primary predictor of youth well-being and is protective of the mental health of transgender and gender diverse youth, therefore including parents, caregivers in the assessment process to encourage and facilitate increased parental understanding and support of the adolescent may be one of the most helpful practices available. It's funny they put this paragraph right after they made that dangerous comment.
Yeah, they got to play damage control. They got to clean that up. See, that was smart because they took in consideration where somebody intelligent like yourself and me, we're going to read something like this and we're going to understand exactly what you're talking about. So they got to clean it up a little bit.
Yep. I'm done. I'm going to make sure that I include that. I'm going to include that in the I'm going to include that link. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to close that. Close that. Keep that. Let's see. This is all crazy. I'm gonna go through this and then pause it since we already played it straight through. All right.
My ex-wife, who is a pediatrician, began. It all started when my son was 2. My ex-wife, who is a pediatrician, began to transition my son to a girl. Right while we were still married, she began to put.
Yep.
Now, you mean to tell me that a pediatrician did this? That would begin to make people cautious about bringing their damn kids to the doctor, wouldn't you think?
It would. And she would use that because she was like, well, I'm a pediatrician and I know best. Which explains why later on in the story, she's able to get so many people to rally behind her because of her position.
Right. Her position in all her doctorate connections and everything. So, like, I mean, I wish dude the best, but given the circumstances and given who it is he's fighting against, he's fighting a losing battle with this.
Yeah, and I would wonder, was she suffering anything mentally? Did she always want a daughter? What was she thinking about, you know, going into this?
I think it was both. I think it had to be both because one, even thinking that you're the opposite of what it was you were born as is a mental ailment in and of itself. But also, I do believe, as you stated, she may have always wanted a girl, and it so happened that she got a boy. Boys are usually always attached to their moms, so she saw fit to go down the route that she went.
Yep. I don't know. I ain't advocating no man to hit no woman, man, but it would have been a fight up in there. That's just too serious to me.
Well, I would have took her out. I wouldn't. It wouldn't even be a court battle. Like I'd be in prison. It wouldn't even be a court battle. You got to go. One of us got to go.
Hold on. We talking hypothetically.
Yeah, we're speaking hypothetically for those who are watching. This is definitely hypothetical. This is absolutely unadulterated hypothetical thoughts. That's what this is.
Oh my God. All right.
We're not advocating for violence against women in no way, shape, or form.
And she would say this.
Oh my God. Let me rewind it. I don't know why the Wi-Fi.
Don't be a boy. The monsters only eat boys, and then leave him alone in a room. Things like this. First noticed it when she would put him into timeouts, and she would say, "Don't be a boy. The monsters only eat boys," and then leave him alone in a room. Things like this. And when I said she couldn't do this anymore, she used her relationships with licensed care providers to force me out of the house. She filed for divorce. At 3 years old, my son told me that his mother says that he's a girl and that I'm wrong, that he's a boy. If you go onto YouTube, you can search for "Mommy Says I'm a Girl." It's probably got 1 billion views out there. That went worldwide. I'm an Orthodox Christian. It even went all over Eastern Europe. They couldn't believe it. And it's the first iPhone video I ever took. And it's my son just past his 3rd birthday telling me that mommy says he's a girl.
All right. So he's talking about a YouTube video where it said, and I actually, where is it at? I actually was able, I was able to find it.
Why you pull that up? I want to know I would love to know the process that she went through. He said that they got him put out the house. They got him taken out the home. I mean, it's one thing to get divorced and you lose your house, in the divorce. She gets to keep the house, whatever like that. But prior to the divorce, you're getting taken out of your home. How does that even equate? How does that happen?
Oh, because they made a law that says that if you don't support your kid's gender, you can lose your parental rights.
But prior to the divorce, you get taken out of your home too.
If she paints the picture that he's abusive or maybe he's not supporting the kid, they would suggest that he leaves the home.
Oh yeah, abuse to women. She got to go.
Yeah, so I've seen it happen before. Even if the child even if the transgender topic is off the table, I've seen. I remember that happened to my neighbor. He actually, in the divorce agreement, he had to move out the house. She got to stay there for a year while he continued to pay the mortgage and give her the opportunity to get back on her feet.
Oh hell no.
Let me see. I'm looking up right now for. Let's see. Child. Mm-hmm. All right. Let's see. I think I forget pull this up. I ain't read this article, so I hope this is something that would explain. Here we go. Let's see. And I got another I know I got another article about California though. It says it can happen anywhere. Indiana parents lost custody of trans teen as scouters for help. In a push to convince the U.S. Supreme Court to take their case, Anderson couple who lost custody of their transgender teen are arguing that without intervention, more parents around the country could be stripped of parental rights because of their religious beliefs. If it can happen in Indiana, it can happen anywhere. Tearing a child away from loving parents because of their religious beliefs, which are shared by millions of Americans, is an outrage to the law, parental rights, and basic human decency. Lori Wyndham, Vice President and Senior Counsel at Beckett, said in a statement Thursday. Let's see. The Washington, D.C. based law firm that specializes in religious freedom cases is representing Mary and Jeremy Cox in their appeal of an Indiana court ruling that upheld a decision by the Department of Child Services to remove their child. The case touches on some of the most controversial and divisive social issues in Indiana, where conservative lawmakers have passed legislation targeting transgender rights, and LGBTQ plus advocates have turned to the courts for help. The issue of parental rights has also gained political momentum, particularly among Republicans over the last few years, focusing on issues such as vaccination requirements, school curriculum, gender affirming care for transgender youth. 2019, the Cox's teen identified in court records as AC told them that she identified as a girl, clashing with her parents' devout Christian views that children should be raised based on their sex at birth, and the use of pronouns or names inconsistent with their biological sex is both immoral and harmful. The Coxes said they sought therapeutic care for AC's gender dysphoria and scheduled appointments with a specialist to treat the eating disorder. Wow. In 2021, a Madison County judge ordered that AC be removed from the Cox's custody following a recommendation by DCS that she be placed in a home that affirms her gender identity. DCS had received allegations that AC's physical and mental condition was endangered by her parents, who were not referring to her by her preferred pronouns, and reports of alleged verbal and emotional abuse over the teen's gender identity. And honestly, I think that verbal abuse could just be simply screaming, "You not a girl."
Yeah, that's what I got out of that. I mean, I can't see any other type of verbal abuse outside of the teen or the child not wanting to accept what it is the parents are saying. And another thing that I got out of that is where it states that the child has a eating disorder. So that tells me that he doesn't believe in what he's doing himself, because whatever sex it is he's trying to be, a girl, is stressing him out to the point to where he now has an eating disorder. So he knows he's wrong.
Yep. And it says the Coxes have, and you always got to be wary sometimes, and I'm not trying to be dismissive of victims, but a lot of times when you see that verbal and emotional abuse, it's like, okay. You know what I mean? It's like, that can mean anything.
It can literally mean anything. You just questioning somebody's thoughts on something. Oh, that's emotional abuse.
Yeah, it's like, oh, and it says the Coxes have denied the abuse allegations, which DCS later dismissed, and have turned to the U.S. Supreme Court after losing appeals in state courts. The Indiana Attorney General, the Indiana Attorney General's office, which is tasked with defending DCS, argued the conflict between the Cox's religious beliefs and AC's gender identity was not why the state took her away from her parents. Okay, so I don't get that last part. So they say the Indiana Attorney General's office, which is tasked with defending DCS, argued the conflict between the Cox religious beliefs and AC's gender identity was not why the state took them away, but they preferenced putting them with a family that did affirm the gender. Rather, petitioner's child was removed because the child had a severe eating disorder that petitioners had not been able to effectively address for 2 years that jeopardized the child's brain and bone health. The Attorney General office argued in a brief film. Really?
They put it in there.
I couldn't even read that without laughing. That's what we're saying. Really? So the child got an eating disorder. We're trying to get them together. You taking away kids because of this eating disorders? That's what really? That's ridiculous. It had nothing to do with what the child said. Unless they're trying to blame the parents to say, well, hey, y'all are so emotionally and verbally abusive, you've caused this eating disorder. That's probably how they're trying to frame that.
Yeah, I can see that. That makes sense. I can see that part.
Oh, I should have kept on reading. Hey, look, bro, I be calling it, don't I? Look at the next paragraph. The brief also reiterated a Madison County judge's ruling that AC's eating disorder was partly caused by self-isolation from her parents that was likely to reoccur if she's returned home. The state is also saying the case is moot because AC is now an adult. All right. Well, it's settled. AC can go do what they want to do.
Right. At that point, yeah. If he, I refuse to call this person a she, if he has this eating disorder and is an adult, I mean, if he's not living in the home with his parents, then by all means, I mean, if you need to get help for your eating disorder, then do you. But that's not that might be your parents, not the cause of that. You grown.
Yep. It says, but it is important they keep on fighting though, because like they said, but the Cox argued the case is still relevant and could have an impact on other parents around the country. So it is important for them to try to get it to the Supreme Court to change law, set policies. A brief.
Oh no, I'm absolutely with them. Yeah, keep fighting. Get that to the Supreme Court, because you'll most likely be helping another family who has to deal with this nonsense.
Yep, exactly. It says a brief filed Thursday cited the rising number of transgender youth and the government's willingness to remove children with gender dysphoria from their parents' custody. The Coxes also accused state officials of blaming an underlying mental health condition, in this case, AC's eating disorder, for why they took the teen away. Oh, don't worry, y'all. We don't believe them when they wrote that.
Yeah, definitely don't believe that shit. Absolutely not.
Yeah. And of course, let me see. Oh man. Of course, I'm gonna have a lot of links to put in the let's see. Let's see. Caliph. No. He said they in Texas, right?
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
see.
he's in Texas.
Okay. Lose. Well, they say he lost custody, right, for not supporting.
Yeah.
Or what's their term? Affirming. Charles. They got a bunch of different they got article. They got articles talking about him though.
Okay, so it's safe to say he's gotten a decent amount of attention for this thing.
Yeah. But you know what I get? What happened? The judge is slick. It may not be necessary a law. Now, California, I have found something for California, right? That says if you do not affirm, you can lose, like what happened in Indiana, right?
Okay.
I don't think Texas has that. How they got him was this child. The mother painted a picture. This child is trans, right? And if I say my child is trans and the court order says that this child must go to therapy and have supervised visitation, and this therapy is going to help this child, if he disobeys that and says, I will not participate because I would be affirming my child to be a girl when he's not, That's why he was held in contempt. Only because it was up under a court order.
Right. Okay,
That makes sense. Because outside of the court order, the judge probably couldn't touch it. Like, hey, but if the wife says, hey, this child needs therapy and mental health, that's going to be taken very seriously. But he knows why that child thinks he's a girl, because he knows the games that mom was playing when that child was 2 years old. But he can't necessarily prove it. And all the judge can go by is, well, right now the child says he's a girl. So I'm ordering this. And you can't further try to, which in a way I understand it, and it's going to sound crazy and messed up, but his brain has already been jacked up. You can't go back in with your shock treatment and try to change it back.
Correct.
So I'm just ordering, but I understand him. He's standing on principle to say, well, hey, I'm not gonna participate in it at all. Okay, well then you not listen to the court order. But that's the trick. She put in a court order, and he disobeyed it, which is understandable that he disobeyed it.
So this man got bamboozled by a damn court order.
Yeah. Yep. That's what happened.
Damn, bro.
Let me see. Here we go. I think I found the archive. It's not the one I was looking for. I had to find that one. Let's see. And this is from californiafamily.org. Anybody who watches on the playback, I don't know why, but I be liking to do this. I'll be going through these articles. Oh man. californiafamily.org, California Family Council, CA legislators pass bill to take children from parents who doesn't affirm kids' gender identity. This is article by Greg Burt. This is from September the 11th, 2023. So last year. AB 957, gender dysphoria, LGBT, parental rights, transgender. That's what this article is dealing with. So it says last week, the state legislature approved. Let me make it bigger. It says that last week, the state legislature approved a bill to require judges to equate affirmation of child gender transition directly with a child's health, safety, and welfare when determining custody or visitation rights. Consequently, parents who do not affirm the chosen gender identity of their child of any age risk having their child taken away from them.
Damn.
And remember, he said his ex-wife is desperately was trying to get to California. But when you got a custody case going on, you can't move at the time. And so that's probably why he was tying her up in court like that to keep her from getting over there. AB 957 now heads to Governor Gavin Newsom's desk for a final decision by October 14th, a bill he is expected to sign. The legislation has drawn national attention and even become a talking point for presidential candidate Tim Scott. According to Fox News, he called the bill evil. Tech entrepreneur and Tesla founder Elon Musk has also weighed in a discussion about AB 957 on X, formerly known as Twitter. Musk wrote, "This bill is a wolf in sheep's clothing. What it actually means is that if you disagree with the other parent about sterilizing your child, you lose custody. Utter madness. That's exactly what happened in this story. I guess Greg Price weighed in on it. Breaking, the California Assembly just voted in favor of AB 957, which will require judges take into account whether a parent affirms a child's gender identity or gender expression in determining custody. The Senate already approved it, so it's heading to Gavin Newsom's desk. That's crazy. That means that your child can just punk you in the kitchen. Be like, man, call me a girl. I mean, I ain't calling you. Be like, what? What you say? Man, I ain't say nothing. All right.
Get the people on the phone as soon as possible. Like, what?
Yeah. I'm telling you, man. You better not. This is California State Rep Lori Wilson, who wrote AB 957. Parents of why I'm not surprised. This is California State Rep Lori Wilson, who wrote AB 957. Parents affirm their children. Typically, it happens when their gender identity matches their biological gender. But when it doesn't, the affirmation starts to wane. Our duty as parents is to affirm our children.
Damn.
Can I play this? Let me see.
That parents
Okay.
know that parents affirm their children. They have since the dawn of time. Typically, it happens when their gender identity expression matches their biological gender. But what happens is when it doesn't, that's when the affirmation starts to wane. And that's what we're dealing with here. Although it's called the TGI Bill, they're not mentioned anywhere in the law. What's mentioned in the law is the child's gender identity and expression and the parent's affirmation of that, whatever it is, because that is our duty as parents to affirm our children.
As soon as I seen her, it made sense.
Yeah, it do. Yeah, it make perfect sense at this point.
Wow. So there you go. That is another one, another link I'm gonna have to keep to put in the description. See how much more time I got. Oh man. Oh, let me go ahead and play that video and then we're gonna run through the rest of it. We might have to do a part 2 of this.
Yeah, we just might. I mean, it's
So much
a
to go
lot
through.
to discuss on this.
Yeah, it's been an hour already, and I'm like, man, I mean, well, it won't necessarily have to be a part 2 of this because I'm gonna run through this video again, but it's other videos that I want will have to do, especially when it comes to the kids in the school. Because I found a video, like, I guess it would be a trans boy, and they got jumped and beat up in the bathroom, and the parents were mad because the school was like so frustrated with the child because they was telling them, hey, look, you're different. Use the bathroom. Like, we're going to let you use our private bathroom in the school. And this child was so determined to do what they want to do. And so they wanted to go into the regular bathroom with everyone else and got beat up for going in there. Let's see, share.
You're a boy, right?
No, I'm a girl.
Who told you you were a girl?
Mommy,
When did she tell you you were a girl?
because I love girls.
Oh, I see. So mommy told you you were a girl?
Uh-huh.
Does mommy
Wow.
you're a boy, right?
No, I'm a girl.
Who told you you were a girl?
Mommy,
When did she tell you you were a girl?
Cause I love girls.
Oh, I see. So mommy told you you were a girl?
Uh-huh.
Does mommy do anything else like with a girl with you?
Mm-hmm.
Like what?
Like kisses.
What does she do?
She do put them on me.
She puts dresses on you? Oh wow. And what else does she do?
She buys my headbands
Uh-huh.
and she get me hair clips,
Oh, hair clips? Okay. What else?
some microphones,
What else?
like a skeleton.
Does she do anything with your fingers?
Yeah.
What?
She paints my nails.
I didn't mean to click on that. Oh my God.
Oh, you're a boy, right?
No, I'm a girl.
Who told you you were a girl?
Mommy.
When did she tell you you were a girl?
Cause I love girls.
Yo, Prince, you there?
Yeah, I'm here, bro.
Yeah, man. You heard that?
Began to get ever worse. She began to socially transition him to a girl. She presented him to the world as a girl named Luna. And in a
You heard me?
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Nah, but that was the short I played. That was the one he filmed before. But I assume that I would assume that video is old. So at the time he's talking about, because I know in the other articles they were saying they've never done a child that was under the age of 12, but I would assume the mom's trying to move to California. That young boy must be approaching the age of 12 at some point soon.
Yeah, gotta be.
All right, let's run through this one more time. Tell me when you want me to pause it if you hear something.
All right, man.
and put him into a dress. The Capel School District under Principal Mickelson helped to transition my son secretly behind my back, and we can talk about why that's legal in all the 50 states right now. I would bring my son to school in boys' clothes. The teacher would give him a dress and make him use the girls' restroom.
Wait a second, stop. The teacher would?
Yes. I didn't find out about this for over a year.
So wait. I mean, let me just stop you real quick right there, because that's it is one thing. Like, look, the most complicated part of this is typically in a lot of these situations, you have parent against government or parent against school system,
Right.
or parent against, now you have parent against parent. And you would think that the proper position for the school and something like this might be to be like, this is something for them to work out. If the boy, I mean, I wouldn't blame a teacher for saying, if the kid shows up in a dress, it's not my position to change him. If the kid shows up in pants, it's not my position to change it.
Right.
You actually had a teacher physically taking your child and changing their clothes?
Yes. There was a dress they kept at the school, and he would change into that dress if I brought him in boys' clothes, which I always did. And the
Yeah, pause right there, bro.
is right up until the time I lost my.
Yep.
Bro, in what universe is that okay? In what world does another party get away with not only dressing your child, but turning your child into the opposite sex? I send my kids to school wearing boy clothes, regular normal boy clothes, and the teacher of all people puts a dress on my kid.
Exactly. They shouldn't even touch it, but it's that law, right? That says that they have to affirm it, I guess. That and that goes back to the idea behind these transitioning closets. that they had start putting in schools. And I think what bothers me the most about this is that you have teachers complaining that they don't get paid enough money. They need the parents to help them teach the lessons and everything, but they got enough time to be transgender fashion people.
They got enough time to play the Lion Witch in the Wardrobe, but you need help doing the job.
Exactly. They don't get paid enough to teach. They get paid enough to change some clothes, especially if you dropped your son off in his boy clothes. He should just stay in those clothes. Why would you even be changing him to a dress? It's just ridiculous. It's just sick to even be involved. I wouldn't be involved in that. Whatever clothes you dropped them off in, I wouldn't. And I would tell the father, look, you bring him in boy clothes, I'm gonna keep him in them. If your ex-wife bring him in the girls' clothes, I'm gonna keep him in them. I ain't gonna touch him. One thing I'm gonna tell him, open his book up, reading, writing, arithmetic. That's it. But I just don't get it.
Bro, I'm lost too. That is crazy for that to even be a thing.
The school system got enough problems. I don't know why they added more to it.
My parental rights, 6 years later. My son never presented as a girl to me. He's always
okay. There you go. So he said starting at 2, and then shortly after 3, then he started saying this other stuff and going to school. Then he lost his parental rights 6 years later. So this boy's around 9, going on 10. She's trying to go to California, which the youngest age that they've gone is age 12 when it comes to that surgery.
Right.
There we go. So he was able to keep his custody for 6 years with all this stuff. Now, okay. Makes sense now. It's coming together.
He's presented as a boy to me and a girl to his mother. And I asked him about it, and he just flat out told me, my mom doesn't love me if I'm not a girl. And that's why he wear girls' clothes. So as this ramped up with the school issue and her presenting him to the world, as a girl, after our divorce, we had a second trial in 2019. I brought in the world's transgender experts to that trial in this little courtroom in Dallas County. She brought in the world's experts on her side. She didn't put a single one of her experts on the stand because we would have demolished them. During depositions, she had hired Johanna Olsen Kennedy, who runs the largest gender clinic in America. I just asked her in the deposition, very simple question. What is the medical basis for removing healthy body parts from children? You're a doctor, you have to have a medical basis. And she said, if they cause psychological distress, they're not healthy body parts, and we remove them. So she didn't put any of her experts on the stand.
Wait,
brought in
Can I stop you right there real quick? So let me get this straight. If somebody's right eye caused them psychological distress, her response, then her logic would be, then it is perfectly okay to remove a healthy eye.
Yes, and there is a psychological condition called body dysmorphia.
Yeah,
where these people go out of the country to have their body parts removed because it's actually illegal in the United States to do that. But they made a special.
Now, I actually seen a documentary on this body dysmorphia. Bro, there's this guy. I want to say he was on Dr. Phil too, if I'm not mistaken. There's a guy who got his leg amputated for the sole fact of him believing that he was supposed to be born crippled. I can't make this up.
They're giving in to people's delusions, man. And what I don't understand about it is especially when it comes to the transgender, and this is from the mouth of people who have transitioned. If the body part is causing psychological distress, what's the purpose of removing a body part if then that same removal of the body part, and you have studies and data behind this that says that it actually increases the self deletion rate.
Yeah.
It increases it.
So what would be the logical purpose of getting rid of said body part? It makes zero sense.
But they don't make sense. They make sandwiches.
Can't argue that. Can't argue that one.
We don't make sense. We make sandwiches. That's what they're doing, man. They're trying to. I don't know what their goal is. I can only assume it's some form of population control. That's all that I can think of.
Yeah, that's all I get out of it. That's the only thing I can get out of it. It gotta be some form of mental control in some aspect, because nothing they like, no matter how they spin it, it loses on every front when it boils down to any type of logic.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. It loses. And also I've seen interviews from other trans women in particular, where they've regretted it, later on in life, and stuff, especially those mainly it was those who did it too young.
Yeah.
That they regretted it, and stuff. So I don't, at the end of the day, whether the mom is right, the father's right, or whoever wrong, whatever, which I think the mother's wrong, but you don't have to take it too far. You can affirm a child and be there for them, but you don't have to do things that are going to cause permanent changes, damage in their life. You don't have to do it. You don't. You could wait for them to go ahead. Hey, you grow up, you go through the therapy, and you see if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, that's the stance. I got the exact same stance. I mean, don't go through the process of having whatever surgery it is you're trying to have or want to have, as opposed to actually just growing up and realizing exactly what it is you want to do, as opposed to going over feelings.
Yeah, exactly. I've listened to this thing over and over again. I'm trying to get through it. It's the saddest thing I ever heard in my life.
It is. It really is.
Exception for castrating kids. The FDA made a special exception for it.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to clarify that. Yeah.
In 2019, I brought in Dr. Levine, who ran the first transgender clinic at Johns Hopkins University in the 1970s. And they shut their clinic down after 4 years because all their data showed that the treatments were harming patients. So we knew back in the 70s, all of this stuff was bad and evil and didn't work. So I won the 2019 trial. I got 50-50 custody, no child support. And most importantly, I got a check on all of the medical rights. So she couldn't do anything to my son. During that period, I had spent several $100,000 of my own money and created an entire movement in Texas to pass a law in the state to outlaw these procedures. I successfully did that in 2020. They took out 3 sentences from that law that I wrote, which classified it as felony child sexual abuse. And that becomes important later. So what the Dallas County judges did is they said, well, we didn't get the verdict that we wanted from the Texas jury, and the judge didn't do what we wanted. So they transferred my case to the 301st District Court under Judge Mary Brown. I call her Bloody Mary Brown. Bloody Mary Brown, using temporary orders, systematically has stripped me of all my parental rights. I can't see my children. I can't write them letters. I don't know what school they go to. I haven't seen them in 3 years. I have no idea what's happened.
Okay, let me stop you right there real quick, because this is always the question, right? This is always the thing where it's like, okay, all this sounds really good, but you lost your parental rights, and surely Surely a judge would not have done that without good cause. So knowing that anybody can go and look this up and look at the judge's opinion and whatnot, tell us what the justification was for you losing your parental rights.
The quote from the order stripping me of my parental rights said that I was unable or unwilling to follow the court's orders. So the question is, what were the court's orders? There were two of them. One of them was for supervised visitation. The judge chose forensic counseling services, which is based out of Dallas County. It was a gay and transgender therapist who would refuse to allow me to change my son into boys' clothes during the visits. Because I have always refused to affirm my son as a girl, I declined to go to the supervised visits. The second reason is I'm under an illegal and unconstitutional gag order. This interview is illegal in Texas and California. I'm not allowed to talk about any issue around transgenderism, gender expansiveness, or gender dysphoria. I have a lifetime ban from all interviews, writing newspaper articles, doing any podcasts, or writing any op-eds or articles.
Now pause that.
I'm not even allowed to tell you whether my sons are boys or girls.
How do you get a lifetime ban on talking?
I thought that was crazy too. They essentially took away his right to free speech.
Yeah, they literally took away one of his amendment rights in the United States, courtesy of the United States Constitution. How is that possible?
When you are fighting against the powers, they can do things like that to you. He's fighting against he's going against a machine. You know, he's not going against a person. He's battling against a machine.
Yeah.
And they're they're flexing on him. Hey, you know, just like he said, he did all that work to try to get the laws passed and stuff like that. You do something like that, well, we're gonna shut you down, and we're gonna show you that you're not going against us. You're not as bad as you think you are. We're bigger and badder than you.
Man, that is crazy. This dude got a lifetime ban on speaking.
Yeah, he can't. You have to laugh because it's so crazy.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how to wrap my mind around that. I can't understand that. The guy interviewing him can't understand. He's like, what? Hold on, what?
The dude interviewing him is just as baffled as we are.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh, I didn't see. Shout out to Sandra Cooper. This is a setup to corrupt children. Remember the duty of the devil. Open your eyes. It's right in your face. What will the godly people do? Not fight the devil? Oh, well, this is a spiritual war. I think that's the best explanation that I can come up with. It is.
It's literally one of the only explanations that makes sense.
Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, she had wrote that earlier. I didn't see it because I was trying to find those articles. I didn't get a chance to put it up because I was rushing, because I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to go in a few. Let me see. I'm gonna go ahead and get through this video.
Wait a second.
So I have
4 minutes
how
left.
do they? How in the? So they actually, she was this part of her taking away your custody rights? Was a corresponding gag order that says you can't talk about transgenderism?
You know, they were trying to shut down my political advocacy to get that law passed in Texas. They didn't want me to go testify at the state legislature and to lobby in the state legislature to get that law passed. That's the real reason they put that gag order on me. And because I didn't go to supervised visitations, which would have forced me to affirm my son as a girl, and because I have consistently violated the gag order on principle, I've told the judge in court that I have contempt for the text of the order, for violating my rights as a Texan. Because Texas has better free speech rights than even the federal government.
Mm-hmm.
So I have contempt as a Texan for the text of the order. I have contempt for her as a judge for issuing such an order against a citizen of the state of Texas. And so I'm in maximum contempt of court. And I told her she was obligated to give me, therefore, the maximum sentence for criminal contempt, which is 18 months in the Loose Derrick jail in Dallas County. And she refused to send me to jail. And the reason was I had a writ of habeas corpus already prepared, and it would have been struck down in 4 days, and I'd have been out. And I could have sued the county and sue the county's insurance company for millions of dollars for violations of my rights. So instead, what they did is they said, well, you can't follow the court order. So because you can't follow the court order, you can't see your kids anymore. And they chose that route.
So this was 2021?
Yes.
Okay.
And then
let me see. Oh, hold on.
Because I finally got that law passed and it went into effect in 2021, January 1st, 2021. My ex-wife petitioned the court to let her move the children to California so she could castrate my son. Judge Bloody Mary Brown in the 301st District Court of Dallas County allowed her to move to California to castrate my son. I took that up to the Texas Supreme Court, which is supposed to be a conservative court. And Justice Blacklock, I call him Black-Hearted Blacklock, and Justice Young wrote an opinion denying my petition, saying absurdly that my son was no more likely to be transitioned in California than he would be in Texas.
Oh, wait. Stop.
Mm-hmm.
You how does anybody say that with a straight face when California has passed its own legislation,
yes,
setting itself up as something of a sanctuary state?
Yeah.
For this sort of thing. Like,
it's a transgender kidnapping state. And that was the argument that I made to the Texas Supreme Court. I said, if the court finds that it's not in my son's interest to have these procedures done, California will not return my sons, even on a court order. And so this order by the district judge, Bloody Mary Brown, amounted to removing the protections of Texas law from a child in order to abuse them. And I have an opinion from Ken Paxton, who I consider the best attorney general in the history of the United States. He's won more federal cases against the federal government for states' rights than any attorney general in history. He's definitely the best one in Texas history. And Ken Paxton did a thorough analysis of this at federal law and Texas law. He went back into English common law and even into Spanish juridical law, because we trace our legal system through Spain. Though it doesn't matter where you go, it's always been illegal to castrate kids because the children have a fundamental liberty interest in procreation, and no parent can remove a fundamental liberty interest from a child permanently. That's why you can't tattoo your child, you can't give your kid drugs, and so forth. So even with all of that evidence, the Texas Supreme Court under Justice Black-Hearted Blacklock let my son be moved to California. I'm now going to trial on the 28th of this month. This is my last shot. If I lose this trial, my son will be castrated in November.
Dang. And there you have it. Woo. We're gonna have to do another one. I have to go. And I didn't think I would get so wrapped up in looking up the articles and stuff like that.
Yeah, it happens when you got these when you got stories out like this, bro. Man,
that's insane. That castrated in November hit different. That it got spooky.
I mean, that's like right now, like that's this month. If it ain't already happened.
And now I know why, because he said in 2021 was 6 years after his son was 3. We're in 2024. His son is approaching the age where he will be able to get the surgery.
Man, damn, bro. There ain't nothing this dude could do about it, bro.
This has been going on for a long time, because I believe this interview was done this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So he said in 2021 that was 6 years. he said 6 years later, he lost his custody. He was talking about being in court. That was 2021. Yep. 22, 23, 24, 3 years later. From that age, his son would have been 9 because he said 3. 6 years later, 9 plus 3, 12. Mother's trying to go to California. And I read the article. California, they down for it. So, oh man. Any final words? And Prince, I appreciate you, man, coming through, man. I had a blast with you today, man. We done got 2 of them out.
Oh man, same, right? I definitely had a blast, bro. But my last words would be, bro, men, get y'all kids. this shouldn't be a thing, bro. Like something like this, these people need help first and foremost. It is nothing more than a mental problem, a mental issue. These people got mental dysphoria.
Yeah.
men, get y'all kids, bro, because things like this, and again, we're speaking hypotheticals here. It'd be things like this that make these women disappear, and you never find their bodies.
In conclusion, I would say, people, it's time to open our eyes. We got to stop arguing about these gender wars and focus on what's important. We have children in this country, and they're under attack. And if you're a person that believes in the right thing and doing right, especially if you believe in God, you are under attack. That law, the legislation, I was reading earlier, the articles, and I'm going to put them in the description later on. I'm going to have to leave out immediately after this video, but it's in the words. They disguise it very well, man, but they're attacking the family at this point. They don't believe in it. They don't care about it. They're saying your kid can be at school and does not have to inform you of any changes and things that are going on in their life. They can be in cahoots with the teacher and the school system. These teachers don't want to teach. They don't get paid enough to teach, but they get paid enough to throw your son in a dress or your daughter in some jeans, or or something like that. So I don't even know. I'm shaking my head like the guy that was conducting this interview.
Bro, I'm just as confused as him. I'm just as flabbergasted as he was when he was conducting the interview. Bro, you can't believe in any aspect of reality that any of this is okay.
I can't. To think that a mom could get away with this, that at the age of 2, you take your son, convince him to be a girl. The thing she did to him, saying that, hey, the monsters are going to get you, but they only eat boys, so you have to be a girl. And then for that little boy to tell his father that my mom would not love me if I'm not a girl. So, and she's able to hide behind the law with the crime that she's committed against her own child.
Man, what I told you on Clubhouse, bro, in that chat bubble, a restraining order is just a piece of paper. The police are glorified cleanup crews.
Yeah.
They show up after the fact.
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically, people. Hypothetically. You can hide behind the law as much as you want. Nothing is gonna stop a bullet from going between your eyes. Nothing is gonna stop that.
Oh man, perfectly said, man. I'm about to head out. I appreciate y'all tuning in to Risky Behavior ENT. This was Diabolical with me and the Prince of Petty. If you're ever on Clubhouse, look us up. We do chat bubbles and topics like this all the time. Appreciate y'all stopping by. If you're watching this on the replay, make sure you go ahead, thumbs up the video. Don't forget to, if you like the content, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share, tell a friend to tell a friend. Once I get the links up in the description, you'll be able to go and read a lot of this stuff for yourself. So I'm about to head out. Prince, you gotta tell him peace.
Yes, sir. Peace out.
Risky behavior.